Hey, Dr. Dan Cooper here, and I wanted to just tell you a story. Something came up to me on technology these days. You get these notifications of events in your life via, in my case, Google Photos. Facebook does it. There's different social medias, and all these things will remind you of things for whatever their purpose is, for fun, whatever. Uh, and I got this notification or reminder of an event that happened. I think it was 8 years ago. Uh, anyway, it made me think about some things. And the memory is about an event that I did with Operation Shifting Gears. It was a combat injured veteran nonprofit that I was an integral part of for a handful of years. And our first event, so our sport of therapy was cycling, and we had our first event was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It was great. Great event. I was super stoked with how well it was all put together, and apparently other people were too, because it is now part of the pro circuit, which is pretty cool. We started this race, and it's now a annual thing in the pro circuit. Either way, this is neither here nor there. So we have this ride. I don't remember how far it was actually. Let's say 56 miles. Let's put that out there. I think it was 56 miles for this ride, and it's me, my buddy Justin, who started the nonprofit, our core staff of guys who help run things, and our veterans, our combat injury veterans who were sponsored by the nonprofit to come do the rides. So we're in our group, riding the beautiful countryside of Winston-Salem, and come upon a lady. She's on some inexpensive mountain bike, half flat back tire, cockeyed helmet, and looking like she's struggling. And we noticed that she did have a number placard, so it looked as though she was part of this ride. But from the looks of things, there's no chance she was going to finish this ride. So I said, "Hey, are you on the are you part of the Winston-Salem Cycling Classic?" And I said, "Yeah, I was with my daughter. She left me." So your daughter left you? Oh my God. Okay. You want to hang out with us? And she, of course, said yes. And then the rest of the story ensues. And it is such a cool story to me for a number of reasons. Because this woman, Susie, my bad, she's actually called Susie. She was enveloped by this group of veterans who were helping each other out. So this is a combat injured veteran nonprofit. There's guys with amputations, traumatic brain injuries, any number of injuries that were sustained in combat times to be qualified for this nonprofit. And she got to see what it was like for us to interact, how we help each other, how we communicate with each other, the things that we do. And I thought that was a very interesting experience for a civilian to get put inside of that. I thought that was very cool in and of itself. But really where my personal satisfaction or like the feel-good piece of this for me is that I then put a hand on her back and started pedaling harder. So I pushed her. We had another one of the guys, Dean Mortimer, who was the first other person to help push her. So we were trading off, pushing her along the way. And the course rolls. There's different terrains in the course. It's North Carolina, so there's some more mountainous sections. There's some more just light rolling hills. And we pushed her for the rest of the ride. There might have been short stints of not pushing, but we're with her for the whole ride, and we pushed her for most of it. And it was one of those experiences where there's physical difficulty. It wasn't emotionally difficult for me to do, but it was very physically difficult. One, you're off center, you got hand on somebody, and so you're pedaling hard, you're kind of torquing, plus you're pushing another person, so there's a lot more resistance. So physically, demanding physically, especially when we're doing these heavy uphill sections, which is where she would need the most help. I'll fast forward to the end of the race, or end of the ride. It's a grand final, so it's not really a race. It's grand finals are where all the different classes of riders ride together, which I suppose the studs would be racing, but we weren't racing. We were just riding along. At the end, it was an experience for her of accomplishment that she had no confidence that she was going to accomplish, is what it seemed like to me. She was crying in a very thankful, happy manner. It was one of those super heartfelt moments for the entire event for me. It was the most heartfelt moment for the entire event for me. And she wasn't even one of our sponsored athletes. So it was really cool. The cooler follow-on to this piece of the story is that, so George Hincapie, super stud cyclist, saw us. He liked what we were doing. He invited us to his Grand Fondo in Greenville. I think it was the same year. It was in October. Yeah, pretty sure it was the same year. So we go up there, and lo and behold, Susie's there too. We can't sponsor her because she's not a combat injured veteran, but she paid her own way because she wanted to be there with us. It was just so great. And she showed up. She had lost a bunch of weight. She looked happier. She had a real helmet. She had a real bike. Like, it was great. It was so cool to see her find such life in an event that we got to be a part of, and then take it on herself to continue that. And actually, so we were just this boost that she needed to push her life in a direction of betterment. And that's freaking amazing feeling for those involved. Hopefully you think it's a cool story too. I will tell you the piece of this story that I wanted to mention. So George's ride was an epically gorgeous ride. He obviously had a lot of thought went into the route for this ride. But he's a Tour de France rider. So he had sections to the ride just like in the Tour, or stages just like the Tour. And there's a King of the Mountain component to the ride. And it's in Greenville, South Carolina. It's not over in the Rockies, but there's some steep ass grades in the Appalachian Mountains, and real twisty too. So you're on steep grades doing switchbacks, which makes it so much tougher. You can't just stand up and grind. You have to do all these little hairpin turns. And Susie didn't need help for a lot of that ride prior to getting to the King of the Mountain section, but she stayed with us, and I gave her some help on some things she probably really needed help on, just because I loved that role that I had previously. That I was trying to engender the role a little bit longer, even though she didn't need it. But get to the King Mountain section. She's concerned. She's tired. There's already been some strenuous sections where they were challenging, and then this comes up, just goes up, and I said to her, I'm going to be with you for this whole thing. All I ask of you is that you don't stop pedaling. If I see you coasting without pedaling, I don't even care if it's an ounce of pressure on the pedals. Just keep those pedals turning. If I see them not turning, that's going to crush my motivation, and this is going to be a much more difficult task. Can you do it? She said, I will do it. And it was a 7-mile climb, so excruciatingly long climb, and my hand never left her. My hand was on her back the entire time. Now, other guys did come in and assist me. So the way we do this, it's really cool how when you're pushing somebody, I don't know if we had a name for it, but it's like a bird formation, how they stagger. And that's kind of what it looks like. So if I've got my hand on this person's back, they put theirs on mine, we kind of V out in this fashion, and we all just pedal harder. So the person in the middle is getting pushed by this group effort. And so being that it was twisties, we couldn't really have wide formations of people helping to push. Plus, dudes are just getting broke off on their own. It's a freaking intense climb. So I stayed with her the whole time. We had different people coming in, hand on me, hand on her other side, whatever it was. And they get to a fatigue point, peel off, somebody else would come in. For some instances, I was by myself, which I was concerned about. I mean, the grainiest of grinding gears, just grinding as hard as I can, hoping, like, when is the next person coming? Oh God, somebody come help me. But that was amazing, and my hand never left her back. So I stayed with her the whole time. I'm sure, I don't remember, but I'm sure at the time somebody said, hey, Coop, you want to peel off and let me come in? I would have said no. It was one of those things like, I've got to finish this, and I've got to take this to its end. So I did, and somebody else, not me, somebody else, once we had ascended the climb and we were now, it's leveling off, we're going to go down, do some little lighter terrain stuff on the way back down into the next stage, wherever that was. I don't remember the course exactly, but somebody else said, "Hey man, let's get off the bikes, stretch our legs. That was a brutal climb, and suck some water, recover a little bit before we continue because people were getting broke off." I said, "Okay." I was totally down, and it didn't happen until I took that first step off the bike. Legs cramped, all of them, like calves, quads, hamstrings. I think my ass even cramped. Just brutality cramps happening left and right. And, I writhed in agony for a minute, and stretched, and oh my God, this is terrible. But my body held out. It was so cool that my body held out to the end. It didn't tell me. I could tell I was fatigued. Obviously, I could tell I was fatigued. I didn't know I was to the point of locking up, cramping in every muscle in both my legs. So it was very cool. My body held out until the mission was accomplished. Very cool. And anyway, that just came up earlier today. Maybe it was yesterday, but today I was thinking about it. So I thought I'd tell you about it. Cool stories in life. I think it's kind of important to remember the successes that we have, and not to dwell in the past and I used to be this way and all that kind of stuff, but to remember the good things you've done. I think the thing about that is so vibrant in my mind is how those human interactions went in the activity. It wasn't that like I ground it out and like I'm so strong. Like that's not the feeling that I get with that at all. It's how wonderful was that experience to be a part of helping someone achieve with that first ride where she was in tears, appreciative of helping her achieve a goal that she had, and then the perseverance, and maybe that is kind of a personal thing to me, more so than interaction with people, because it was me setting my mind to I'm going to finish this, and through whatever horrid pain I was in did. So it's a good thing to know that I have the ability to stick to it, persevere through adversity, that sort of thing. That's one of the things that makes you feel good. So when things suck and you're like, well, damn, I could just give up. And then you think, well, I could also not. I could also just not give up. And I can complete this task, whatever it is, and finish because I have it in me to finish. I think that's a good lesson to learn about yourself as well. I've got a story that I like to tell that's about that I won't spare you with for now. But I think it's a story worth telling. And when you find these times in your life where you recognize that you have the ability to achieve, don't forget about that. And know that that's you that's doing that. That's within you. So you will have it again. And you can access it again. So when things get rough, know that you can kick ass because you have in the past. So remember those times. I think that's all I've got to say for you about this story today. Hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you can find places in your life where you pull out similar stories that you can hang on to, because you can do what you want to do. You just got to do it. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.